Greetings once again, my friends, and welcome to 2018. It's been a long road, and thankfully we're here. Now, normally this would happen like the week of New Year's, but I'm actually kind of sitting on my last week of vacation and decided to take these year-end vlogs that I'm going to try and do and put them in that last week so that I can just kind of still be as chillaxed as I can via vacation, and then next week we can get back right into regular schedule. And first of all, happy holidays to those who celebrated. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I hope it was all fine and dandy. If you had problems, I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, so this vlog is going to be one of a couple. I wanted to address a couple of issues that have happened, not only in the middle of the vacation, as well as just stuff that's been on my mind for probably a majority of the vacation, but maybe even leading into it. And I think the perfect thing to start off with is where the channel is at right now and where I plan on going in 2018. Um, so I guess the best place to start off is like how I felt 2017 went, and I don't really have any complaints. I've been able to get as much growth as I possibly can. I've been working very hard to keep that going. I don't know if people can actually tell this, but I've been changing a lot of strategies. I've been trying to get better SEO and all of that stuff, trying to get those all going. And I think for the most part, they've actually worked. We've been able to get some new subscribers and new people to the community. And I'm fairly happy with where things have been, aside from the fact that around August, I had a basic run myself into the ground moment. Had to take a small vacation to get myself back righted and be able to get through the rest of the year. And I know a lot of people don't necessarily like the changes that came from that, but we are going to keep them. And the main thing we're going to be keeping is the end of the month podcast week, which is that I don't do things aside from, so like things like Tale of Drak and even the Diablo. Well, Diablo's showed up a couple of times, but like Tale of Drak active schedule stuff doesn't show up. You guys will still get Kingdom Hearts parts, or by the end of January, it'll actually be, I think, King's Quest by that point, because we're getting ready to end Kingdom Hearts fairly soon. So you're going to be getting all of that stuff while I work on podcasts and other stuff outside of the channel. And I just feel like that week really works to be able to do that. I know that some people get a little irritated because that basically out of a month, you're getting 3 weeks of schedule instead of 4 weeks. And while I understand your viewpoint, you're still getting 3 weeks. You're still getting a majority. So I'm sorry that you're not getting your full 4 weeks, and if that's upsetting enough that you just can't support me, I understand that too. But this is just something I've decided to do from here on. People might also notice that I've changed the lighting a little bit. I got some new light bulbs that I think will work a little bit better in here, so when I do these vlogs, it's not going to be so weird. I know a few people don't like the warm light that I tried to do in previous ones. Now we're just going to do this and see how well it works. The big thing that I don't necessarily want to talk about, but it actually needs to be, well, before I get into that, there is one other positive thing that I should probably tell you guys, and if you're Final Fantasy fans, you already know this, but I actually got some good news over the holiday season. I've got another baby coming. Andrea is pregnant, and she's just barely started being pregnant. We caught it fairly early on, and it looks like we're going to be having a baby again in August. So leading into that, that's actually got a little bit of bad news for that. I don't want people to get the wrong idea. I still love what I do. I still love the stuff that I do on YouTube, as well as voiceover and podcasting. But YouTube has become fairly unstable as of late. We've covered the YouTube Kids situation. We've covered the various adpocalypses that have happened on YouTube. And certainty on YouTube, while it was kind of there, it is dwindling very heavily. You're starting to see a lot of the popular YouTubers looking outside of YouTube to be able to maintain their income and maintain their brands, kind of thing. I mean, you're seeing a lot of YouTubers going to places like Patreon and or in some cases establishing themselves on other video properties. I mean, the Nostalgia Critic is known for going to places like Screenwave. I think he's still going with Screenwave. Atop the Fourth Wall was going to VidMe, and in fact, fun fact, I was actually going to VidMe. I'd been talking to Stephen Romney about doing that for a while, and the second I get a login is, I think about 2 days later was when they announced they were shutting down. So it was like, oh, well, can't rely on this anymore. And migration is definitely something that I'm looking into. I'm not going to lie, guys. I don't feel certain with the future on YouTube. And in fact, I know I had a lot of plans going into 2018, tackling other MMOs and things like that. And I'm not saying that those are done, but they are significantly getting reworked, to be able to accommodate for the fact that YouTube isn't reliable anymore. YouTube basically, like for most other panelists on the Geek News podcast, for me as well, has to become more of a side thing. And it kind of was already, but now it needs to be more of that. A lot of focus goes towards the YouTube channel, and unfortunately, it can't. Especially with a baby on the way, I've got to put my focus on places where making money is going to work. I may actually have to, resort to getting I may actually have to resort back to getting some work to be able to help out with the bills around here. I've been very gracious in the fact that Andrea has let me do what I love to do, but now this is the time where family needs to come first. And if I need to go and get a 9 to 5, then that time needs to go there, not necessarily here towards the YouTube channel. So I'm bringing this out here just to keep people in the loop. I don't want to do that, but YouTube just isn't necessarily something we can rely on. What is that? Now, before people start freaking out, what does that mean? The schedule isn't changing. The Tale of Drakfu, Dungeons and Drakfus, Diablo, we're going to finish out Diablo, and that's going to be awesome. Final Fantasy will continue. The stuff with me and Andrea will continue. But more of the focus outside of that, in the creation part of it, is going to be going towards the projects that can actually bring money in. And it's not because I don't love you guys. It's not because I don't, I want to, screw you over. It's simply because I've got another baby on the way, and I've got to actually think towards the future. And YouTube, to me, has about, if things continue to go the way it's going, YouTube has like 1 or 2 years of life left in it. And even if it didn't have 1 or 2 years of life left in it, I'd still need to reconsider this stuff, because it takes a while before you can start earning any kind of revenue on YouTube. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, YouTube was more meant to be a side thing anyway. So now that I have full focus on the podcasts and full focus on things like VO, where I didn't before, I put a lot of extra emphasis on YouTube to be able to get the Let's Plays going and Gaming with Geeks and all that. That stuff will still be there, but it's basically what's happening here is my priority list has been rearranged, and YouTube is lower on that list. Just because now I can keep things fairly consistent, I need to go work on other things. So I know that this is disappointing for a few people, and I again don't want to just sit here and talk the same points over and over, but I want to emphasize this. Tale of Drakfu is staying in place. Dungeons and Drakfus, same thing. The Let's Plays that me and my wife do, they're still happening. Will they get interrupted because of baby? Yeah, sure. We might actually try to record a bunch of stuff in advance, just in case baby comes, This is stuff that we did before anyway. Final Fantasy will continue. I have no problem with ending that. Vlogs will continue. You already are kind of seeing the new interface by which I'm doing reviews, and that's probably going to be a thing. I actually have been getting some fairly good reception from people that I work with, saying that, yeah, this is probably the best way to be able to go about it. It feels very Sid Alpha-ish. It feels very a bunch of other reviewers on YouTube. And it actually works for me because I can maintain the vlog flow, which I feel like is the better way that I can explain how this game is good or why it isn't. But at the same time gives you guys more than just the talking head kind of thing. You guys get to see the actual game footage, and you get to see maybe the problems that I was dealing with and kind of understand why I came down the way I did. So the vlogs and reviews are still probably happening. The Netflix vlogs are probably going to stay the same just because getting footage off of Netflix is not the easiest thing in the world, and I want to be able to do things the right way, and it's just not really working out. And I still do have vlogs to do of Voltron and Punisher. They're coming. I'm still working on them because while I was taking a vacation, that's when ideas started to come to a boil, and I'm working on those ideas too. So, like I said, nothing really is changing, but here's what's getting added. So the vlog reviews are going to be happening, yes. And I'm hoping by the end of January to have the top 10 games of 2017 and the top 10 worst games, or I've actually kind of lined it up to being disappointing games of 2017, just because outright bad games, yeah, there are a few, but not as many as people would like to think. So but bottom line, you're gonna be getting a worst and a best of 2017. Right now, the only thing that's holding me back is I'm trying to get the remaining reviews up, as well as getting whatever remaining footage I want for that top 10. And that's what I'm working hard on right now. That's actually what's going into a lot of my last week, as well as what's going to go into January. Top 10s are also going to be a thing, because I was also, while on vacation, working on the script and a lot of the assets that I wanted for my WoW top 10s. And in the meantime of all of that, I actually started working on scripts for other top 10s. So I actually like doing top 10 scripts for some reason. It's kind of fun for me, because I actually get to go back and say, like, this is why I like this particular franchise or whatever. So don't expect like a regular once a month top 10, but because I got to gather footage and all that. But there'll be more top 10s in the future. I'm really having fun doing a lot of that stuff. And since this is kind of a side thing, that's probably the best place to put it. The other thing, too, that I've decided to do, and I brought it up on a couple of vlogs that happened during my vacation, I do a lot of voiceover. And in some cases, voiceover can be silly, and you can have some weird bloopers. And I actually asked in these vlogs if you guys would like to see a lot of that stuff record, or like, because some of it's recorded. Would you like to see that in an official video? In particular, I've been told that I have really good impressions of certain individuals, and I've been able to adapt those really, really well. And I just so happen to have a lot of that stuff on tape. So I asked if people wanted to be able to go see it, and the reception was fairly positive. So that's going to be another new thing that I add, is because I am a lover of voiceover, and I occasionally do these blooper reels anyway. I might as well just put it up for you guys to enjoy. I'm not necessarily going to be ruining auditions or anything like that, but this is just silly stuff that I do in the meantime while I'm recording actual auditions and stuff like that. So there's stuff good that's going to be coming in 2018. A few additions that aren't necessarily the hardest thing to put out, and are still very reminiscent of what I wanted the channel to be, which is who I am, kind of thing. And if this is not necessarily what you guys want, I know a lot of channels on YouTube are changing drastically, and some people like that, and some people don't. And if that's a problem for you, and you decide to not support me anymore, I'll be disappointed, but I understand that. I mean, I've had to do that too this year, and it sucks, but I want to support as much creativity as possible, but some stuff is just weird to support, and I understand that. I have been asked if I'm going to be doing something like a Patreon. It's not like I haven't considered it, but right now it's not really in the cards. If it becomes something that we can do later, then I'll definitely bring you guys into the loop. But right now, it's not necessarily something I'm doing for the moment. And I think that pretty much kind of covers because I don't want to talk you guys' ears off too hard here, but I think that pretty much covers all of the stuff that's happening in 2018. Things are going to change because obviously I do have a baby on the way, and I do actually need to get other things done. YouTube is basically changing in priorities in my life. while you guys will still get content and it'll still be fun, it'll still be what I do normally. There are some changes that will need to be made, and I hope you guys can understand that. Once again, thank you guys so much for all of the support that you've done for this channel. I would not be here if not for you. And actually, one of my vlogs is going to be going into the fact that, in my opinion, I kind of need to treat you guys better. And I'm going to be working very hard to be able to do that too, because I do love this community, and the fact that you guys have made a decision to support me, I do appreciate that. And yeah, I will see you guys next time for the next year-end vlog.